So we actually see a person came to take the examinees inside for the build on exam. So there are actually two kinds of build on licenses: the general methods of construction and the vulgar methods of constructions. So these two are actually the type of that they will actually be tested on their licenses. So the one that Tankashi and Renka are going to be tested is the vulgar methods of construction. So now they're actually headed to there, where there actually a difference in the exam that could be difficult, but no one actually have taken it unless they actually pass the build on certified screening, or if actually recommended by a building master. So we actually see them going towards the vulgar methods of construction site, where we see Tankashi actually looking on the devices that actually can see underground. So now we actually knew what they had to go towards to the Sams. But he actually meeting another person who actually speaks in who's speaking quiet, but he actually had to be loud to actually get what he has to speaking with him. But we actually see Bar actually knowing what he actually had been through, but we actually knew what he had to do. Then we see a young woman named Poko Michin, which she is actually a constructor who actually smooths the cement. But we actually see how the test actually begins, where we actually knew they were ordered to wear numbers on themselves, where they actually been given, in which we actually see how they made the last stop, where they get to see the Coliseum, where people are watching in the seats. So now they're getting ready to prepare for the test, but which we see how Nada is actually there watching the others as well, which Korg actually noticed this, but she actually gave him the data scan from the new upside down castle, which is a good thing that he has a scanner. But we actually knew that he actually is rooting for them. Plus, he also told her that it actually reminded him of the building called the Shell Castle, which actually used from the discarded shell of an ancient insect called the Mammoth Sinkada, which we actually knew how the foundation was built, which actually from the deep sea kingdom, Deep Land, where a shell actually was used for another construction, was actually built named the Giant Shell. Not to mention how the House Warriors were actually built. So now we actually see how the exam actually begins, where we see how the people are preparing to see the examinees actually bell as well. However, they actually see the arrival of Smith, the Protector, where they actually told them about the Fokker methods of construction, where we actually knew how they're going to build houses, the houses that were actually built by the strongest craftsmen. So now we actually see how they're going to build the houses, as well. So now they're getting ready to prepare for the test, as well as the first test is to use a hammer to against a creature called Ragnale Mole, kind of like a game Ragamole. So now we actually see what's going to happen next. So now the two versions of the licenses, the Vigor methods of construction and the general methods of construction are two versions of the construction licenses they had to get. So they choose to go to the Vigor methods of construction, where they're actually going to battle against the creatures called the Ragnale Mole. So we're going to see what's going to happen on the next chapter next weekend. So anyway, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment what you think about the manga chapter. You guys can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and my Facebook page. Until then, this is Anime Guy here saying sign out. Laters, and be safe.